Welcome to Transforming with Drew, where we talk about all things transgender from F to M to M to Fs and how to change your life for the better. Wonderful. So I am very pleased to introduce our guest to the Transforming with Drew podcast, where here we talk about all things trans. We have Jake Order. How are you doing this evening? Well, this morning, actually.
It's just afternoon for us, but I'm very good, and I hope you are too.
I'm doing great. I got my coffee, so I'm a lot happier now. So would you
Exactly.
like?
It helps.
Yeah, yes, it does. So would you like to introduce yourself to the people, maybe a little bit about more and about where you're from, like afternoon over there?
So I am Jake. I am 28 years old. I am currently living in Ireland. I've been here for 19 years now. Moved from the UK. I work in an independent living centre for the elderly, which is really nice. Don't really have a lot to say
No,
about myself.
I mean, well, first, everybody who has been listening to this, a lot of people are in different countries, but most of them are in the United States. So anything outside of the United States, they're kind of excited and they think it's awesome.
Oh, okay.
Definitely. So you got to think about it. So, how old were you when you finally realized, enough was enough and you wanted to live your truest form? What Jake's truest form?
Okay, so I think there's so many elements to transitioning in general. I don't think it was a case of literally just waking up and going, right, that's it, I'm trans. It was like such a build up. I didn't know when I was younger. It wasn't something that I ever thought of. I knew that I was different, but the
Mhm.
word transgender just didn't exist in my vocabulary. It wasn't something that I knew about. So for me, I always felt like I was a little bit butch. Like even when I was like wearing makeup pre-transition and stuff, I always felt a little bit like a drag queen. Might sound a little bit strange, but almost felt like I was putting on a facade or something, and I didn't really understand what that was. But I was watching. I don't know if you've heard of it. It was called. Um, oh, what was it called actually? It was basically a transgender show where they all went into this one big house together and were going through their own transitions.
What?
Um, I can't remember the name of it though. I don't know why. I usually always remember it. But anyways, so I was watching that, and I just felt like I really connected with all the people that were in the house. Like there was the likes of Fox Fisher, if you've ever heard of him, he was in it. Um, and it was just something that it really dawned on me. I was like, right, okay, maybe this is why I feel the way that I feel. But then anyway, years had passed after that because that was in 2011.
Mhm.
Years had passed, and I was watching First Dates, and there was a guy called Charlie on it, and he was transgender. And I don't know what it was. It was almost like a little light bulb in my head going, I need to do something about this because I was like, I really feel something towards this person. I feel really connected with them, even though they don't know who I am, and that kind of way. And I hadn't transitioned yet. So yeah, it was almost like sort of watching people sort of develop and grow as themselves since transitioning other people, and I sort of was really envious of that. So I mean, I think there's many components to me understanding me being transgender and how I sort of understood why I felt the way that I felt, or why I felt like I was always just in the wrong body.
I,
You
I,
get me?
yeah, I can completely understand because I did not know what really transgender was until I was about, well, Eve actually had me phrase it. I did not know what F to M transgender was until I was about 19. I always thought it was more common
Yeah.
for trans women to be exist rather than trans men. And I remember being introduced to my coworker Sam, and Sam was having trouble breathing and stuff one day, and I was like, "What's going on?" This is back in the early 2000s before we had a lot of binders everywhere. He was
Okay.
with an ace bandage. It was bad. So he was having an asthma attack and he couldn't breathe and his lungs were being compressed by the ace bandage. So I was like, yeah, let me help you. Of course, he started panicking, as naturally would, and we ended up having to cut off the ace bandage because somehow wouldn't go out. And I was like the one person he trusted with telling me like the information, and
Yeah.
I was just like, well, Sam, I still love you. I mean, it's fine. And he just like, I remember he started crying. He's like, oh my God, you have no idea how much that means to me. And
Oh,
I was like, can we talk actually? So we started talking. Mind you, I'm 19 at the time. I was like, wow. It's like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. Huh. It's like, huh,
yeah.
kind of situation. But like you, I didn't really click right away because I tried to tell like my ex-girlfriend at the time. She reacted horribly, so I was like, I'm gonna go back inside the closet.
Oh, I know, right?
And yeah, so I did that. So while you were talking, I was like about that a little. Was it called My Transsexual Summer?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So I looked it up. And I was like, I've never heard of that, but I'm gonna have to watch it. Um,
There was
but
only one season of it, but it was honestly, it was really good.
okay, that's good to know.
There's a lot of information in it. Like it's a really educating show as well. Because I was pre-transition watching it. I had no idea I was even transgender at this point.
Mhm.
Um, but I just thought it was so interesting.
That sounds really neat. Like I'm
It,
actually,
it was. It was really good. What did you say?
so I'm gonna have to watch it now. I'm excited.
Yeah, you should. It's very good.
Well, so I know that you live in Ireland. So how is it over there for you? How was it transitioning over for you? I'm aware that you actually went to a different country for top surgery. Am I correct?
I did, yes. I went to Poland, and that's more because it was a cheaper price, and also the surgeon was absolutely fantastic. And at the time, my ex girlfriend, she was Polish, so obviously with the language barrier and stuff, she really helped me along the way with that process. So that's why I chose Dr. Lembas in Poland. But he's fantastic. He's a wonderful, really understanding man, and I really enjoyed my experience with him. But in Ireland itself, we don't have a lot of resources for top surgery. There's no you can't have bottom surgery here. That's not something that they do. They don't have surgeons for that. Um, Top surgery, I think there's one woman that does it in Ireland, but I would not. And this might sound bad because I mean I live here, but I wouldn't trust somebody here because they haven't got a massive sort of broader experience with somebody in the likes of like Poland or America or things like that because there's obviously more population, there's more people getting these surgeries done, that kind of way.
Yeah, no,
So I didn't really trust going anywhere here, and also at the time I didn't actually know there was even I could get top surgery here. At the time, that was what, in 2016. I got it done in 2017, but when I was looking for top surgery to get it done, no one's name came up for it. And even at the doctors, they just didn't get anything. They just didn't really understand. And I remember when I was first getting my testosterone jab, like the first time, so I was on testo gel for 6 months. And then I was put on Nebido then after 6 months, which is the injections. And the doctor hadn't got a clue where to put it. He was going to put it in my arm. And I kept saying, I was like, no, it doesn't. I said, it has to go into, it has to go into your thigh or your bum cheek. That's where I usually get it done. But it doesn't go in your arm. They're just there's a lack of education towards the trans community in Ireland. And I do still find there still is, even though there's more of us now and there's more, well, it's more heard of. But yeah, I think the process of it is quite difficult here because of the lack of resources.
well, that and if I'm not mistaken, even the shot itself is like what 10 to 14 weeks. It's not something you do like weekly or bi-weekly because I take my shot every Tuesday, and I
Oh
get
wow, okay.
yeah, and I do it at home.
So over here, so I was put on libido. So firstly, it was once every 3 months, and then now it's once every 2 months. But they don't just give out needles and things and sharps boxes. I think because of like obviously the drug. I suppose if you're disposing it incorrectly,
Mm-hmm.
couldn't go everywhere, right? And somebody can obviously anyone on drugs on the streets or whatever can pick up these needles. So I do understand why they do not give out needles or give out sharps boxes and things. I get that because I wouldn't fill a sharps box, and I think that's what they were trying to tell me. Like within a year, like obviously for diabetics and things, they have to prick their finger every day,
Yeah.
obviously many times. But over here with having testosterone, what I take it 4 times a year. It's not like it's. I think I did the math really wrong there, but you get what I'm saying.
No,
I
no.
would not fill a sharp box in a year.
And if you're taking it a few times a month, it would make sense for you not. I mean, well, I didn't even know that type of shot existed until honestly I started looking into other people's experiences overseas, because here in the United States, it's very common to be on weekly or bi-weekly.
Yeah, I see that. I thought that as well. So when I first started my hormone treatment, I
Mhm.
didn't know about testogen. I didn't know that was a thing because any videos that I've watched online, obviously on YouTube, with trans guys transitioning, they always had to do their shots themselves. It was like it's weekly or it's every second week or and I'm looking going, oh, I cannot wait to do that. But then over here it's so different.
Mhm.
It's so different.
That too. And what made them change you from gel to the shot?
So me personally, I wanted to start shots because I felt like changes would be quicker that way. So that was really it was really my doing that I started that. Only because when I started on, they start you out on testo gel firstly to get your body ready, I suppose, for a higher amount of testosterone.
Mhm.
So I was on like a 5 milligram packet or 15, sorry, I think it was 15 milligram packets, a little sachet. And I had to rub that on my arms every second day. And I felt like the changes were not happening for me quickly. And then just nothing was happening. I know, obviously, for everybody, the process is very different, even with shots and things. Your transition is very different from somebody else's transition. But I felt like whenever I was watching someone's videos, their month to month side by sides and things, they were changing so much. And I was doing, pictures and videos and whatnot, and I just was seeing no changes. And I was like, I didn't think the testo gel was working that great. So they did say to me that they wanted me to stay on the testo gel for 4 months, and then they said 6 months, and then that's when I started then on the shots.
Okay. See, you're actually not the first person I've heard of having the gel not work as efficiently as they thought they would. I've actually heard people doing this thing, which I thought about considering this as like I once might hit my 6 year mark on testosterone to do the gel to keep it like just natural after that, because it's
Okay.
after the puberty thing. Because I've thought about doing that. And a lot of trans men here I've met say they they started gel and then they had to go to shots, and it's very common because the changes weren't quick enough or they weren't effective enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I've heard that a lot actually. You're definitely not the first person to tell me that, but I also see a lot of trans men being like, I've been on shots for 10 years. My doctor says I'm now at a very stable level. I can do gel, so that way they don't have to do shots anymore. So some people have done that too, which is kind of interesting, and I didn't like realize could exist either. I mean, of course, I'll see where I'm at. I'm not scared of needles. I'm covered in tattoos, so
Yeah, right.
yeah. I mean, I have no problems. I sit there every week, and I'm like, oh yeah, shot that wee. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I absolutely love getting my testosterone jab done. I love it. Now the needle is quite big because it's quite thick. It's a 1,000 milligrams shot at once. It's a big, basically a big ball of testosterone goes into my butt cheek every 2 months. So the needle is absolutely massive. But I enjoy it. Like I get sort of at the thrill out of knowing that that's gone into my body. So the
yeah,
needle side of it, you don't really think about it, do you? Because it's like, well, you need this. You want it so bad.
yeah, it changes like because I'm kind of I actually really loved how you said you felt like a drag queen, because that to me is the embodiment of what people think trans men is supposed to be, right? They think that we're all supposed to be just super hyper masculine, super hyper this, but no,
Yeah,
they can be gay, they can be drag queens, they can be effeminate, they can, because
exactly.
it's all definitely a spectrum to me. And I absolutely love that you said that, because not many people understand that. I mean, yes, I'm very masculine. As you've seen me going through like so far my transitions in the last 4.5 months. I'm transitioning pretty well, which we can definitely say.
You look great. You look amazing.
Yeah, well, I've also have very hairy people in my family, so that probably helps.
Oh,
Uh,
same,
yeah,
same.
yeah, my family's very hairy, and my testosterone was already really high before I started. But like, oh my god, I think I did a video the other day because I was just looking at I was looking at my legs and I was like, when did they get this hairy?
I
It's
know, it's almost like you wake up one day, don't you? And then you look at something, you're like, wow, okay, that's happened. Because I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I don't even know why, whatever way I caught my back in the mirror. And there was a clump of hair, just sort of, just at the top of my back. I was like that. I was like, no, I never wanted back hair. It's not something that I wanted. But now I'm just like, do you know what? I'm going to have to just go with it. I can't pick and choose what testosterone is going to give me. So just go through it. And there's two very small little patches of hair on my back, which I thought was really random. I do think it's quite funny as well. I just didn't expect it.
I think I'm gonna join you in that group. I am breaking out really badly on my back.